me talking. He likes to yap away. It's very difficult sometimes to get away when Tommy is in full flow. But, you know, I just turned around and I said to him, Tommy, I need to leave. I need to get to my NXT stream. And I think that guy would keep talking all night if he could. So, apologies for him. Right, but let's jump over, shall we, and have a look at NXT and do the breakdown. So if we flip over, here we have got the breakdown, almost, not quite. Let me see if I can get it queued up, and then we will be underway. There we go, that's good enough. That'll do. I think that says everything that needs to be said, to be honest. This is your official preview of NXT, and I think that very much sums it up. So there we go. That is what we're dealing with tonight. So welcome to the NXT stream. No, I do actually have the proper one. There we go. So here we've got Trick Williams and Ethan Page. What is this shadow? Is it this? That's annoying me. It might be my Wi-Fi thing. I'm going to move it. No. There we go. Trick Williams and Ethan Page come face to face before Halloween Havoc. Cool. Julia and Stephanie Vaquer team. Oh, yeah, that'll be good. Julia and Stephanie teaming up against JC and Fallon. Io, Sky, and Kairi Sane are on the show. They're taking on Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson. Luca Crucifino honors the D'Angelo family as he takes on Oba Femi. And Tatum Paxley is going to be battling Jada Parker. So that is what we have got coming up tonight. Tonight on NXT. Let me get from the chat. I need to get the chat on screen so that I can see you. And then we can start getting stuck into whatever it is you want to talk about. Bits of news today. To my knowledge, nothing massive. Just a little bit more development with Samantha. Samantha coming out saying that she told WWE months ago about leaving. It wasn't earlier on Monday, as had been reported in certain places. So she was setting the record straight on that. And then just a couple of tweets from Wyatt Sicks people. Nothing massive, just images from last night. That's all I've seen, really, to be honest, at the moment. I'm not aware of anything seismic. NXT tonight is going to be okay. I always like to be honest about what we're expecting. I think tonight's show will be all right. It's a go home, so I don't think it's going to be the biggest thing in the world. It's really... Hang on, is it a go home? It is go home because it's on Sunday, isn't it? Halloween Havoc, so it is a go home. So, yeah, it's a go home. My expectations are pretty low for tonight. It's going to be final touches, and it's going to be setting up what's coming up this weekend. We will be live this weekend, of course. We will be doing UFC on Saturday night, and then on Sunday night, we will be doing NXT Halloween Havoc. Don't forget, that is this weekend. I still have not had a chance to change this down here, though. So I am aware that's still a job that needs doing. But we do have a busy weekend this weekend. James said UFC 308 is going to be on TNT Sports box office. Is it really? I hope they don't start making a habit out of that. We have managed to eat quite good in the UK. So hopefully that is just going to be an exception. Lisa, hello. Daze, based on the number of hours a week spent on wrestling, what type of fan would you say you are? Casual 2 to 5, hardcore 10 to 14, nuclear extremist 21 to 24, or no life plus 48? Well, I don't know that you can define it that way, to be honest. Because if you watch Raw and SmackDown, that would be 5 hours a week. 2 hours, well, at the moment, it would be 4 hours. 2 hours for Raw, 2 hours for SmackDown. But I don't think if you watched every Raw, and every SmackDown. I don't know that you would appreciate being referred to as a casual if you was to watch like every Raw, every SmackDown. So I don't know that your parameters kind of work for me. I don't know that that works for me, brother. I don't know that it can be defined that way. It's very interesting. Like, we have spoke before about what makes a casual, what makes like someone that's a bit more of a hardcore fan. Like, where is that line? And I think the truth is that it's going to be in a different place for different people. I think that it's probably not something people tend to think about if they're hardcore or if they're like casuals. But I don't know that it can be defined by a set amount of hours. I think if you're watching Raw and you're watching SmackDown every single week and you are keeping up with the stories, then I don't know that you could be called a casual. I mean, there are going to be people that are going to be more invested than you, but that will always be the case. There will always be people that are watching even more, and most people have jobs and have to go to work. You know, there's people like Dave Meltzer whose job it is to just watch wrestling all day, every day. So does that mean that if you've got a job, you couldn't be called a hardcore because there's always going to be people that have got the ability to watch more than you can watch? So again, I think the hours thing is a tricky way of dividing that up. So I would say that, I mean, I class myself as a hardcore WWE fan, of course. I don't class myself as a hardcore wider wrestling fan. I could choose to watch more wrestling if I so wanted, but my time is spent with WWE. So my time, I've spent time watching NWA, I've spent time watching AEW, I've spent time watching New Japan, I've watched little bits of MLW from time to time, I've watched bits of Progress from time to time, I've watched bits of Stardom from time to time. Like, I've dipped my toe into other promotions. But to be honest, my time is just totally taken with WWE. So I would just class myself as a hardcore WWE fan. But I don't know where that line is. I don't know as to where that distinction changes. So I would imagine pretty much everyone that joins us, I would say, is hardcore. I think if you're to the point where not only are you watching the shows, but you're also going online and joining a community to talk about the shows and, you know, engage with other people, I feel like you've gone, you know, an extra step or two down that rabbit hole. So I would class everyone here with us being certainly on their way towards hardcore, but I would imagine most are hardcore. So yeah, but I don't know where that line would be. It's kind of interesting. James said it's on at 5 p.m. the prelims. Oh, is it really? What, is that on Saturday? Is that this weekend? Let's have a little look. Oh yeah, you're right. Prelims are at 3, apparently. So prelims are 3 o'clock, and then the main card is 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock for the main cards. No. Yes. Yeah. That's weird, isn't it? Where's it coming from? Oh, it's in Abu Dhabi. Etihad Arena, Abu Dhabi. I need to look in. I haven't looked at the card yet. I know the main event, of course, but I've not gone down the whole cards. I won't do that until Wednesday, Thursday. So, yeah. Well, there we go. Because it's on at a reasonable time, that's why they're doing it. They're probably thinking more people will tune in. Middle of the night, people have got to stay up for it. Whereas with this one, people are up. They're probably thinking that they can get a bit more money out of people. That's interesting, isn't it? That's going to really screw up my sleeping pattern. Matty Boom, shout out to you, my friend. Hello, hello, hello. Kaz as well, shout out to you. I hope you're well. Sorry, I didn't see Kaz sneaking through there, becoming a supporter. I didn't see. But Kaz, thank you. Welcome. Hello. Good week to join, because I did put a poll up. Well, not a poll, but I put a request up asking members what watch-along they would like to have a look at. We're going to look at that on Thursday, and we're going to have a look and see what has won. And we're going to do a members watch-along. And then this is also the week where you'll be able to nominate someone in the community and to be put forward for the Hall of Fame. So we've got that coming up in a few days as well. So lots going on this week. Really loads of stuff going on. Members Unseen tomorrow. Members stream on Thursday. So there's quite a bit going down there. So Kaz, shout out to you. Matty Boom says, "What's up, Daze? What's up?" Do you remember that? I was the guy that sent you the video of me reacting to the Wyatt segment in the arena. Rob Fee liked my 2 tweets. In one of them, I said, "Bring back the mask and the braids." So fingers crossed. Matty Boom, shout out to you. There's a lot of talk about the braids and the dreads. I think the general consensus is that everyone agree, well, not everyone, but the majority agree it's the best look. But I think the concern is that when he wrestles, I don't know about the argument of them being too heavy, only because The Fiend used to wrestle with like those kind of dreads, and so I don't know that they're too heavy, but I can understand like with them swinging around. And because I don't believe it's his actual hair, of course, I wonder if it's just really hard to control. And I wonder if there is something in the weight. I don't know. I'm saying I don't know. But the consensus is there something in the weight? One of the theories that I like is that the kind of looser hair flows better as you're getting hit. You know, it reacts more than the dreads that are heavier, you know? So it just looks better during matches. I think what we saw from Uncle Howdy yesterday is that sort of happy medium where we've got some like braids, not quite dreads, but we've got something that is a little bit more than when he wrestled, but it's not the big, thick kind of dreads that I think people are looking for. I do agree, for whatever reason, I do think that there is limitations with the dreads in regards to him competing. I do agree with that. So, I don't know. I don't know if that's something that they will look at and they will go, yes, you're right, we should be doing that. I think that there must be a reason as to why they've not gone in that direction. There must be a reason as to why that look looks so good when he's out the ring that they have decided to do something different when he's in the ring. And I think that's the general consensus, is from a performance point of view. There's a physical reason as to why they're not doing it. So, I don't know. I mean, if it's not that, and it actually is that they just wanted something different, yeah, I would definitely say the dreads is the best look. But I'm not convinced. I think that there is a physical reason as to why they're not doing it. Be it that they're heavy, be it that they don't flow very well, it doesn't look as good during a match. Something along those lines. I still think, though, if you look at how Uncle Howdy looked on Monday, I still think you can go further. I still think that you can make them even more dread-like, or make those dreads a bit thicker. I still think there's further that we can go. So, I don't know. Yeah, maybe keep banging that drum, and we'll see. But I tell you what, Matty, if those dreads do come back during matches, it must be because of your tweet. That you will get the credit for that. So, message sent. I agree with you. I think it's the best look. I think it is the best look. I just don't know physically if it's going to be possible in the ring. But very good. And well done for Rob Fee liking your tweets. I think it's always cool if Rob acknowledges people in the community and outside the community, because I mean, he is a very important person in WWE. Like, he is the director of character development. I mean, what a job. What a job. He really is, like, constantly working on with different people, not just Bray, on evolving their characters and fleshing the characters out. And what a job that is. What a job that must be to have that responsibility. It's a job that you don't really ever think about. I mean, I don't think it's a job role that's existed that long. I mean, before him, I don't know that there was that role, but he came in when Bray came back as director of character development. And again, I don't know if that job existed before that, but it's a very interesting position, isn't it? Where you can actually work with talent, work with them on the vignettes, work with them with their backstage interviews and whatever, and work with basically their characters, making sure that their characters are being presented the correct way, in line, that there's consistency. That's a really interesting job, that. It's another job in creative that's not... It's not like sitting down and writing the storylines. It's like a slightly different aspect. But it's a very interesting one. He would be a fascinating person to interview, wouldn't he? Fascinating person to interview. It would be good if Chris Van Vliet could get Rob Fee, actually. That would be a real interesting one. Because that would be real behind-the-scenes information, Kind of like he could tell us things that were planned that didn't happen, things that weren't planned that did happen and worked, those kind of happy accidents. You could get some really good stuff out of Rob Fee. I don't know that we ever will, but I would like to see that. Lisa said, I felt it was an interesting non-PG episode of the web. Non-P? I thought it was very PG. I thought we played it very safe this week. Very safe. With you twerking. Oh, well, that was only a demonstration. That was for educational purposes. You make it sound like there was some sexual element to it, but there wasn't. I made sure that the sex appeal was turned down to zero. I mean, if I if I wanted to make that sexy, I mean, honestly, we would have broke the internet. I reenacted the bussing trend, but I did it with the sex appeal turned down to zero. So it's interesting that it still came across as non-PG. I thought it was very safe, but different perspectives, I suppose. Hopefully Dirty Dominic Travels returns to the groove of streaming. Well, I think you saw, Lisa, that I held him accountable. I held his feet to the fire during this week's Wrestling Escape Pods. And, I asked the hard questions. I was basically Chris Van Vliet for a moment. And I really grilled him. And I think we've given him something to think about. So, yes, I would not be shocked if Tommy goes away, has a little reconsider, and returns to the happy world of wrestling streaming soon. Daze live, you got more viewers than AEW live. Daze is a draw and he has got star power, said Dwayne. Dwayne, shout out to you, my friend. I appreciate the fire emoji at the end. So shout out to you, my friends. Matthew said, Matthew and Shauna. I love these joint accounts. Matthew and Shauna, welcome. Hello. Daze, what's up? What's up? Do we think the tag match at Halloween Havoc sets up a four-way for the NXT women's title, or two separate matches like Julia versus Roxanne and Cora versus Stephanie, or some other combination? Well, it's a really great question, because I actually thought it was going to set up Julia versus Cora and Roxanne versus Stephanie. And the reason why is because Julia had a match with Roxanne and Cora interrupted. Julia has not had her payback yet. She may get that payback in the tag match, but it's never going to be as satisfying as just beating down on Cora one-on-one. So in my mind, Julia needs revenge on Cora. Stephanie has not faced Roxanne one-on-one for the title yet. You could make the argument, though, that it's maybe a bit too soon to take the title off of Roxanne and too soon to put it on to Stephanie. And so, actually, I think your suggestion of a fatal four-way is a really good one, because that way Roxanne can retain and it doesn't take away from Stephanie or from, you could have Roxanne retain by, say, pinning Cora Jade. That would be very interesting for their relationship. It doesn't take anything away from Stephanie or Julia. I really like that. I think that's a really good suggestion, and one that I actually had not considered. So a fatal four-way, I would be down for that. If we don't get that, I'm thinking it's Julia against Cora, Stephanie against Roxanne. I still think we get those matches, but we could delay that a little bit further down the road. Eventually, either Julia or Stephanie is going to become champion. It's just when. When do we pull that trigger? I think Roxanne goes to the main roster next year. So the question is, when? Does she go to the main roster at the Rumble? Does she go to the main roster after WrestleMania? I would suggest after, only because I don't know what she needs or is needed for before WrestleMania. I feel like WrestleMania, you could pretty much book that cards. You might do like Tiffany against Charlotte, right? You might do Jade against Bianca. Rhea will be on that card. Maybe she faces Liv. Maybe she faces a different challenge. I don't know that Roxanne is necessarily in the conversation. There's so many main roster women that I don't want to say deserve a place on that card, but you've got the likes of Bayley, you've got the likes of Io, you've got Asuka coming back, you've got Charlotte coming back, you've got Alexa coming back. I don't see how we get Roxanne on the WrestleMania cards. So I think we call her up after WrestleMania, which means she's going to be in NXT till WrestleMania, which means, are we in a rush to take that title away from her? If we take it away from her now, what do we do for the next 5 months? I mean, she can, of course, just not have the title, but I don't know. I don't really want to see her just kind of kicking around, just waiting. So I think I would delay. Taking the title off of her. I would delay it, and then I would pull the trigger a little closer to WrestleMania, and then that means that she doesn't have to kind of kick around too long without the belt. You might even take the title off her at Stand and Deliver, but that's going to be hard, isn't it? It's going to be hard, I think, to get all the way through to WrestleMania and then have her lose the belt at Stand and Deliver, and then she gets called up on the Raw after WrestleMania. That would be my rough timeline, but it's going to be difficult to achieve that. Let's put it that way. So a really good question. I like it. I didn't consider the Fatal 4-Way, but that would be a way of delaying things. And then, you could have Stephanie go for it, and Stephanie could be cheated. Stephanie could be cheated like how Julia was cheated. That would then delay things. I mean, really, I'm just trying to delay things. Undoubtedly, Julia or Steph will get that belt at some point soon. But again, is it going to be this year? Is it going to be next year? If it is this year, what do you do with Roxanne? I don't think she goes up early. As I said, I don't think there's a need for her at WrestleMania. You could have her around, maybe not use her at WrestleMania, but that would be a shame, wouldn't it? I feel like she should feature. Perhaps you call her up, but you use her at Stand and Deliver, which would be weird. So, for me, my rough timeline would be call her up after WrestleMania. So, there we go. I've kind of mapped it out. Not very well, but there we go. John, shout out to you, said, I can't wait for tonight. I can't wait for them to continue the Carmen and Ashanti romance story. Oh, are you feeling that? You into the romance story? Hey, good news about NXT and ECW Arena. Apparently sold out in 5 minutes. 5 minutes they sold the tickets for that show, which of course you would, because everyone knows it's going to be a big show and it's such a special venue, and people are probably thinking Heyman's going to be there. So it promises to be a very special show. So I can't say I'm surprised, but it's just a great sign, isn't it? NXT selling tickets like that is always a great sign. And should be a really good show. That's not far off, actually. That's only November. November 6th, is it? It's like the day after the presidential election. So not far away at all. Not far away at all. Big Time Hello said, everyone calm down. We might have some children in the chat asking mommy and daddy what we're talking about. Guys, calm down. Calm down, dear. It's only a commercial. We could have kids around. I mean, I think you know I always take that into consideration. This is a safe space for people of all ages. So welcome, children. Buckle up, because you're going to get a free education. Yeah. About lots of things, not even just wrestling. You're going to get a life education. I mean, if you was watching the Wrestling Escape Pods, you've just learned all about performance art. Yeah, I've just enriched your life. So we're just giving out so much stuff. It's amazing. James said, Daze, NXT in Philly sold out in half an hour. So I can't wait for NXT Ream. NXT Ream. There we go. I can't wait for that either, James. Hope you will. Brony said, will Tiffy make it to Crown Jewel, or does her being sick make WWE change plans on if she was going to cash in? Well, to be honest with you, I mean, I don't know if Triple H is a masochist, but I think Tiffany cashing in at Crown Jewel is so complicated that it's just not worth it. You set a new precedent, really, because genuinely, I don't know what happens. If she cashes in that match, it turns that match into a championship match. But does it turn it into a championship match just for her, or does it turn it into a championship match for everybody? Because obviously the question is, because both champs are in that match and someone cashes in during that match, if Nia pins Liv, does Nia then win Liv's belt because all of a sudden it has become a championship match? Or does that rule only apply to Tiffany, who has the briefcase? You know, if Tiffany pins Nia, you know, the rules of a triple threat are that you can win the belt by not pinning the champion. So if she pins Nia, would she end up with both belts? And this is a question that has been doing the rounds that people have been debating, right? I think the clean answer is that, you know, it would just be a championship match for Tiffany and she wins the belt of whoever she pins. That's the clean way, isn't it? We don't need her having both belts. We don't need that happening. So there's not really a reason to go down that road. So I think the clean answer is if she does cash in, it's a championship match for her and she wins the belt of the person that she pins. But if Nia gets the pin, Nia doesn't win a belt. That would be my solution. That's how I would handle it. But I don't know that that is the answer. I don't know that that's what would happen. So, I don't know. I think it would be carnage because I don't think anyone would quite know what the situation is. It's one of those kind of confusing situations. And can you explain it in advance? You know, if you're Michael Cole, can you explain what would happen if Tiffany cashed in? Like before it, because that would then make it seem like she's going to cash in, wouldn't it? If he turns around and starts talking about what would happen if Tiffany cashed in, immediately everyone's going to go, oh, right, so she's cashing in then. So I just think, honestly, avoid it. That's my opinion. Just avoid it. I don't think I would go down that road. I would tease it, and I would have the commentators confused as to what happens now. Even we don't know. And I would have confusion. And I'd be like, can someone in the back answer what happens now? Like, what is this? What happens? I think I would have confusion. I would make it, but I would not have Tiffany actually cash in. She would be stopped before she actually cashes in. So we get to tease like, oh my God, this is carnage. but we don't actually get carnage, and then we can move forward to something that's a little bit more straightforward. So that's how I would deal with it. But it is an excellent question, because it's one that I've seen a lot of people debating. It's one that people are speculating on, but I would not have her cash in. I think it's a bit too messy, and I don't. The problem with it is that if a load of people watching don't know what's happening, it's very hard to then enjoy the moment, because it'll be 1, 2, 3, and we won't know if she's won 1 belt, if she's won 2 belts. Like, it's better if people know in advance what this means, which is why I would just avoid it until we kind of bring some clarity to that situation. So Brony, shout out to you. Hayden said children should learn that using respectful language is essential. James uses swear words. He does. I think we know that. We can find better ways to express our feelings. The community is a safe community to be in. Well, I think this is a safe community. I always think to myself, and maybe this is wrong, I believe in the terms of service, you have to be 13. Because there is a kids YouTube, and there is a place for, like, kids to go. So, you know, joking aside, I never feel like I'm really speaking to people that are under the age of 13. I know that anyone can go onto YouTube, and I know that just won't be the case. But I'm pretty sure in the terms of service, it's like you have to be 13. It's certainly that case on X, believe it or not. Twitter, there is an age limit. I think a lot of people just put fake ages to get on there. Again, I'm not naive to the world. But yeah, I think, like, you know, you're going to find a mixture, aren't you, on YouTube? It's interesting because you can go onto some really dark channels on YouTube. You know, there's, like, the dark side of the internet and that kind of stuff. And, like, you know, people talking about, like, really dark stuff, you know, and true crime and all that stuff, which I would not recommend, is aimed at, like, 5-year-olds. So it's a real mixed bag on YouTube. It is weird, that kind of side, when you think about it, because with TV, the way it used to work was that before the watershed, it had to be all PG. Well, in the UK, before, I think, 9 o'clock at night, before 9 o'clock at night, you had to be PG. Once 9 o'clock hits, you can go rogue. You can do what you want. It was called the watershed. It was a line that at 9 o'clock, once you got past that point, you know, you can branch out. You know, the edgier content started to come onto the TV networks. So, you know, if there was, like, a bit of a naughty film, a bit of a foreign film that had plenty of nudity in it, that would normally be shown late night on Channel 4. Normally about 1 a.m. Don't ask me how I know that. But, yeah, and another show called Eurotrash, which was all about, like, weird, like, things that were going on in Europe. If you've never seen Eurotrash, it's bonkers. It's literally a show where they look at perverts in Europe. Like, it might be someone that digs his garden naked and has been getting, like, thousands of complaints, and so they'll send a report around, and it was just bonkers stories that normally involved nudity or something from, like, Europe. And that was a show that I remember watching when I was growing up, but that would always air at, like, late at night, really, after the watershed. But the reason I say that is because YouTube doesn't have anything like that, does it? There's not really a way of monitoring if you're going to go onto a music video that I would imagine is safe, or if you're going to go onto a horrific, you know, kind of expose of some paedophile or something, you know. So, and all of that content lives on the same platform. So censorship on YouTube is really interesting. Really interesting. I don't have the answer. The only thing I know is that I believe you have to be a certain age to even come onto this platform. Hence why there is a kids version, which is where they're meant to go. And, you know, all of that. Do you remember all of that coming out? Do you remember all that hoopla of, do you know, like people dressing as Spider-Man and people dressing as Elsa, and then they would do inappropriate things. But because they were Spider-Man and they were Elsa, it was being recommended to children. And there was a big fallout with all of that. Adpocalypse and all this kind of stuff. The history, I don't know if there is like a history of YouTube. But if there was a video that was like the history of YouTube, that would be quite interesting. Because there's been a lot of like those kinds of controversies. And it's an interesting conversation because it still feels like something that's evolving, to be honest. Still feels like we might not have quite cracked it yet. Like, maybe, I don't know what the answer is. Because people are watching all over the world, so it's different times all over the world. So you can't really base it by time. And then, you know, if you're an adult, you don't want any kind of censorship. So I don't know what the answer is, to be honest. So yeah, there could be kids around. There shouldn't be young kids around. Apart from, you know, we do have like inappropriate parents that seem to think I'm a babysitter. Apart from them, you know, that I think we've all secretly judged. Apart from them, it should be, but then 13 is still, you know, quite young in a way, you know, still finding your way in the world, aren't you, at the age of 13? Don't know, it's a tough one. James said, did we see Adam Cole has confirmed that he and Britt have broken up? No, I did not see that. I don't really go out my way for AEW news. That's a shame. I think that those rumours have been doing the rounds for a little while, haven't they? So, yeah, you know, there's not really any fun to be had there. You know, disappointing, really. They were in a solid, what felt like a solid relationship, and to hear that they've broken up kind of suggests there's been some stuff going on behind the scenes, you know. There's been a lot of talk about Britt, actually, and I don't know if it's fair or if it's unfair. But I think she's had a real rough time of it these past few years. Do you remember when she was like on top and she was like the golden girl? And she had Jamie Hayter by her side and Reba by her side. She was in a relationship with Adam Cole, and, you know, CM Punk came out with that line. It was to MJF. He was like, you're too stupid to realise you're not even a pillar of this company anymore. You've been replaced by Britt Baker. And at the time, it was like, has he? And he might be, you know. It didn't feel like it was out of place. So, very interesting to see, not her downfall, because that's a bit harsh, but definitely there's been a decline, hasn't there? Injuries, maybe, the talent coming in that have taken some of that spotlight in the women's division, like Mercedes, like Toni Storm, with her character. And has that put a bit of pressure onto Britt, which you could understand? This is the dark side of wrestling, isn't it? You don't really think about it, but imagine if you're a wrestler, and imagine if you're doing goods, and then, you know, all of a sudden, you're not getting the same opportunities. There's a new shiny toy that has come along, and you know, another example would be the England football team, right? We've got a new manager called Thomas Tuchel. And I saw the other night, Jamie Carragher, who's a pundit, he picked his England team. And he'd moved a few players around, and he'd put a player called Mainu. He'd taken him out of the team. And Mainu has done nothing wrong, right? But according to this pundit, he was like, I think this player works better here, and this player will go here. And he was just picking his best team, but it meant that some really good players were going to get left out. And in my mind, Mainu, this player hasn't done anything wrong, wouldn't deserve to be left out. But just because of the way the team would be restructured, he would miss out. And I feel like Britt is kind of in that situation where I don't know that she's really put any foot wrong, but because the opportunity has been to sign Mercedes, because there's been opportunity to sign some other women, and, you know, Tony has caught fire with her character, all of a sudden Britt just doesn't have the same spotlight that she had before. And, you know, I could understand that being a strain. I could understand that being a frustration. Has that frustration shown itself in their relationship? I don't know. I don't know. That I surviving the wrestling world, I could believe, is a real messes with your head. I was going to say head F word. Right? I could see it really messing with your head. Because it's hard. It's competitive. It is competitive. You're all fighting for spots on the show, and you always want a better spot. You always want better. If you're not on the show, you want to be on the show. If you're on the show, you want to be winning. If you're winning, you want to be a champion, a mid-card champion. If you're a mid-card champion, you want to be the world champ. If you're the world champ, you want to be... I mean, CM Punk was world champion, and he was upset because he still was not the guy. And he was at the top. He was the WWE champion, but he wasn't John Cena. And The Rock came along and beat him for the title at Royal Rumble, and that really wound him up. And so, you know, even CM Punk being at the top of WWE, being the WWE champion, even he had frustrations. Even he was annoyed. Even he was frustrated. So if that can happen to him whilst being WWE champion, think about everyone else on the card and think about where they are. That is the side of wrestling that, you know, is hard, frustrating. Listen, Zelina Vega, you know, she has had people tweeting about her for 100 days now. I saw people ZV Army and all this kind of stuff. Hashtag ZV Army. Zelina deserves better, right? Give Zelina a chance. 100 days she's been having people tweet about her, and she just keeps saying, I just need the opportunity. Just give me the opportunity. Give me the ball. I'll show you what I can do with it. And, you know, she is getting on TV. She was on Raw, but only in a supporting role. Only in a, I'll come down to the ring with Ray and Dragon Lee type position. But she is so desperate to be women's champion. She's so desperate to get that opportunity, you know. And her fans are desperate for her as well. I hope she gets it. I hope she gets the opportunity. She's had an opportunity, and I thought she did well. I mean, listen, if you think back to Backlash in France, when she came out with that amazing, like, cape entrance attire, that Puerto Rican flag, like, I think that's one of the most iconic looks of the past 3-4 years. Of the 2020s, if we were to talk about iconic looks, I would say Zelina coming out with that Puerto Rican flag, which they've made figures out of and pop vinyls out of. She even has like a black and white version of it that she uses for like normal TV shows, but the color one, that to me is a real striking, real iconic look. For me, it's her defining look. It's what I think of when I think of Zelina now. And she did that and had that moment when we did the Backlash show, which I believe was in Puerto Rico, wasn't it? Sorry. When we did that Backlash show in Puerto Rico where it was Bad Bunny against Damian Priest, and she came out and she had that kind of flag. It looked so good. She looked amazing. She looked amazing that night. And so she had that one opportunity. And for me, you know, the match was okay. Match was fine. And she gave us her defining look in that moment. And she's like, give me that chance again, you know? I'm not saying she'd be able to have another defining look. Maybe she would, but yeah, some people just want the ball, man. Some people just want that opportunity. Everyone wants that opportunity. So I wonder if there was a bit of frustration from Britt. I wonder if that has played a part. Because it's funny how things were good when things were good. And now things aren't as good. They've split up. I don't know. Speculating. Probably shouldn't, but, you know. Zelina is wasted potential, said Big Time. I always saw her as another AJ Lee. She's got the look and she's got the mic skills. Do you know, my chair is on top of these headphones and it is driving me insane. I have I have really wrapped these headphones around my chair somehow. I don't know how I've done it. It is a flipping tangled mess. How have I managed to... It is literally wrapped around this chair like 5-6 times. How have I managed to do that? I need these as well. Don't mind me. She's not wrestling at the level she did in WWE. Even if you're okay, no one is saying banger match, banger match. Who are we talking about? Mercedes. Right, got you. Who do we think will win the Royal Rumble, said Darren. Well, I think CM Punk was one of the names that was getting mentioned a lot. I don't mind Punk winning it. Some people will say he doesn't need it, but I think CM Punk coming back... He's got to have moments, hasn't he? You know, I'd like to see him be a world champ. I don't think he's back just to have matches with Drew and Seth and whatnot, like winning Rumbles, winning titles, main event in WrestleMania. These are things that, you know, he's come back for. So, yeah, I would like to see that for him. But if it's not him, I don't mind Cena. I don't know that it should be Cena because I don't mind the story of Cena having to try a few different ways of getting a title opportunity. I don't mind that. So, you know, if he wins the Rumble, he is set, isn't he, for WrestleMania? So do you not give it to Cena because instead he wins Elimination Chamber, you know, and maybe you go down that road? So, yeah, Cena and Punk, those are names that kind of come to mind. In regards to the women, I would love for it to be someone like Lyra. I think Lyra's a great talent. I really like Lyra. I think that she has got lots of potential. We haven't really pulled the trigger, but I think we saw in her Queen of the Ring run, which I thought was very good, what she can achieve if you give her that support. And I thought she did excellent in that tournament. And then really since then, we just haven't really had much for her. And, you know, she's kind of been with Kaden and Katana, and it's all been a bit... So, you know, her being new, young... I don't want to say the Becky replacement because that's a little bit lazy. But I think she has potential to be someone that has big singles matches on a fairly regular basis. You know, I think she's got potential to be an interesting character. I think she is an interesting character. I don't feel like she is... People might disagree, but I don't feel like she is forgettable. I don't feel like she's someone that just blends in. Like, she's got a good entrance. She's got a good look. She's put on some really good matches. I really rate her, so I wouldn't mind it being Lyra and having someone fresh and new winning the Women's Rumble. Some people might want to go with a Rhea, you know, and have Rhea win it. Or they might want to go with, like, a returning Alexa. You know, that would be interesting. Alexa comes back and wins the Rumble. That would be pretty cool. Have her come back at the Rumble ending up winning it. That would be a pretty sick story, wouldn't it? I think there's loads of options. Loads of options. I would be fine with Elia winning the Rumble. And then going on to, I don't know, maybe face Gunther. I don't know. Some people might want it to be Cena, though, that gets the title opportunity at WrestleMania. So, so many moving parts. And there's so many ways that you can go. Saying who wins the Rumble is quite difficult because you sort of need to know who the champ's going to be and you need to know what stories you want to tell. It's not really just about who wins the Rumble because it obviously has big knock-on effects. So, yeah. Lots to explore with that. That might be a really good opinions video. Okay, we are live with NXT. Welcome to NXT. Daze, I think Punk's frustrations when being champ is that he was not being treated like the big star Cena was. Absolutely correct. That was his frustration, yes. He wanted to be the guy. He wanted the ball. And he thought he had the ball. But he still felt he was playing second fiddle, yeah. So, you know, as we just said, if he can be frustrated at that point, I mean, really, anyone can be frustrated. Here's Stephanie and Julia. If you can find a way of not worrying about that, not sweating that, you know, just go, do your best, and there's not much more you can do. If you can have that mentality, I think you'll be happier. I think you'll be easier to work with. And I think you'll have, hopefully, a good career. Here is Damage Control. This is a hell of a way to start the show. Damage Control. So, are they taking on Lash and Jakara? Have they got somewhere to be? Why are we starting off with this? So, Io and Kairi, great to see them back in NXT. One of the, I think it was actually the first live events I went to for NXT when I went to America back in 2018, which is, you know, wow, 6 years ago now. The main event of that match, or that event that I was at, was Io, Kairi, Dakota versus Shayna, Jessamine Duke, and Marina Shafir. That was the main event. 6-woman tag match. And I got my picture taken with Kairi after. And she was lovely. I've told that story before. She met everyone. If you, after the show ended, if you went to the rail, right, she started at the one end and she just worked all her way around, met everyone. They were coming up to her going, we got to go. We got to shit. And she was like, yeah. Just carried on meeting people. She didn't want to, like, leave anyone. So I was fortunate enough to be one of the last that she actually managed to get to. I was a little worried at some points that she might not be able to, like, get a picture, or I wouldn't be able to get a picture. But I did. And she was lovely. So, yeah, great to see them back, to be honest. Here's Jakara and Lash, and they have really been showing up and showing out, haven't they? It's been really great for them in recent weeks. They've been getting a lot of TV time on the main roster. Right, Bella's sounded. Jakara is going to start us off with Io Sky. Joe Hendry will win the Rumble, says Paul. I don't think he'll win it. He won't win it. They're not going to have him go to WrestleMania and compete for one of their main roster world titles, but I do think there's a very good chance he'll be in it. Very good chance. He sort of teased it the other day, and I mean, it does make sense because we had Jordan Grace in the Rumble last year, so they're clearly open to having TNA stars in the Rumble. And is there a bigger, more over TNA star than Joe Hendry? That popularity doesn't seem to be waning. It still seems to be there. So I think there's a great chance that he is in the Rumble, yeah. Against the ropes goes Jakara, and Io takes Jakara down. Io Sky might be my current favourite women's star, says Brony. Nick said, NXT needs to stop relying on main roster talent for viewership, says Nick. Well, it's difficult, isn't it? Because I think the truth is, if they didn't do that, the ratings would fall. Because you have talent that is ready for the main roster, but I don't know that you have 2 hours worth of talent that's ready for the main roster. Plus, the other problem is, even if you do have 2 hours of talent that's ready for the main roster and can put on a banging show, they still don't have that strong of a star power to actually get people to want to tune in and watch. And then you're not developing the talent that needs developing. You know, you've got people like Brynlee Reese. No offense to her. She's finding her way. You know, she's had a few matches. She hasn't had loads of matches. But she needs TV time if she's going to become the star that they hope she's going to become. It is a real balancing act. And if you do just not have that main roster talent coming in, I don't know, man. At the moment, it's 600 odd thousand. I mean, if you never used it, I wouldn't be shocked if it dipped down into the 5s, into the 4s. And obviously they don't want that. So it is a balancing act. They are getting money for this show. Big shot there by Kairi. And they want to continue getting money for the show as well. They want more money for the show, no doubt about that. When it's time to renegotiate, they're going to hope for an increase, aren't they? That'll only happen if they get good ratings. Right now, we've got Io and we've got Kairi. One on the front, one on the back of Lash Legend, and she is smashing their heads into that middle and top rope. Kairi goes down. Yeah, I don't think it was a big concern when NXT was on the WWE network because they weren't getting money for it then. And it was just a program for really to sell network subscriptions. But now that it's gone onto TV, now that they're getting, is it 25? I think it's 25 million a year for it. Which ain't loads, you know, all things considered, but it's something. And it's something that could grow. Hello, black screen. There we go. Sleeper hold by Kairi. She's around. Why does it keep cutting out? It can't just be me. We've got a black screen right now. There we go. And I think we've got a little bit of a nip slip. It's only slight. But I think there might be a little bit of nip slip going on by Lash. Lash goes to the outside. Kairi pulls the rope down. Jakara goes to the outsides. Right now, we've got Kairi. We've got Io. Kairi. Boom. Big shot. Lash goes down. Io is going up, looking for a moonsault. Boom. Lands. Springboard. Moonsault. Down goes Lash. Down goes Jakara. And there is no update on the nip slip. It's like they don't want ratings. I mean, shout out to you. King Yeti said, "Wrestle Fap, here I come." Daze, I enjoyed Raw today. I'm so happy that Lillian Garcia is back. Yeah. Lovely little message from her, actually. She came out and said that she could feel the nerves. She's like, I'm sure you could tell. I think she knows that she had a couple of slip-ups. The #1 containers rather than #1 contenders probably being the biggest. But I love the fact, though. I mean, she's, what, 58? I think we looked on her Wikipedia. I love the fact that that didn't seem to faze her. You know, she sort of implied I was nervous, and I'm sure you could tell. Sort of like... It was a great video, actually. She just came across as so excited to be back. She was like, guys, 8 years I've been away. 8 years. I know I've made appearances back, but it's been 8 years. And then she was like, Sam, I've just got to tell you, what a talent you are. You're gonna kill it in whatever you do. That blah blah blah. You know what I mean? But I thought it was a great video that she put out earlier. It is in unseen, so we will watch it in unseen if people haven't seen it. But yeah, genuinely, Lillian just comes across as really excited to be back, and I really respect that. Really rate that. So I like her. She did have a few little slip ups, but as we said in unseen, this isn't a woman that has been in NXT and has now just moved up. She's not in that rhythm. She's not in that groove. And as a result, the nerves are going to be, believe it or not, the nerves are going to be real. There are singers, big singers, that talk about nerves and how nerves affect them. Rhea Ripley, before WrestleMania this year, was having a panic attack. She was having a full-blown, like, panic attack. It was a big, like, she had to get calmed down backstage. Like, you don't really think about wrestlers having nerves, or really singers having nerves. They're just, you know, they just go out, they perform. But, again, it's a side that you don't really think about. It is a side that happens, and I think you could tell that Lillian was definitely experiencing that. And, but, yeah, brilliant that she's not letting that get to her. she's owned it in the sense of, I'm sure you could tell, but focusing more on how excited she is to be back. Because it is exciting, isn't it? Imagine being in her position. You're now going to get to travel the world with WWE, being the ring announcer, meeting fans, and doing it at an age of like 58, which is not old, but you're definitely, you know, getting closer to the door of retirement. I mean, retirement age is, I think, 65 in the UK. I mean, she's closer to retirement than she is to the beginning of her career. So, you know, she's been away 8 years. Now she's back, and it is exciting. Yeah, I like her. I like her a lot. I've got a lot of time for her. I have heard, though, they don't know if she's long term. She's certainly around for the foreseeable. But is she still the ring announcer this time in 2 years? Don't know. I would imagine she's still the ring announcer by WrestleMania, or maybe in a year, but yeah, she might. I don't know how long term she is, but she is back, and she is back for the foreseeable. We are also back as we've got Kairi driving Lash into Jakara. Kairi is back over in the corner, charging over, and boom, shoulder tackle. She goes into Lash, goes into Jakara. Oof. Kairi screaming out at the fans. Looking to go up top. She is, boom, comes down. That was a big shot. That wasn't the elbow. Oh, it was kind of like a bit of a Superman punch by the looks of it off the top. Kick out there by Jakara. Let's have a look at this. Yeah, it was. She kind of does that. Superman punch off the top. Right now she's got Jakara. Alabama slam. Tag. In comes Io. Few people on their feet here. Stomped by Io. Io trying to get the crowd going. They're with them. Crowd are there. It's a good chunk. Mainly the guys, by the looks of it, by the way. On their feet. Enjoying the action as the elbow is dropped by Kairi. Here we go. 1, 2. And Lash makes the save. We do have a nip slip update. And it has been resolved. It was a situation that was worsening, but she just adjusted there as well. It's a situation I believe she is aware of. Oh, no! Oh, no! Ah, slip there by Io. A slip by Io. She botches, but she immediately pops up, hits an open palm strike. Double knees there by Io. That'll be frustrating for Io, but this is the sign of a true professional. Shakes it off, moves on. She goes up, boom, lands on her feet. Here's Lash, big boots. Io goes down. Kairi, off the top, gets caught by Lash. Backbreaker. Love that backbreaker. Tag being made. In comes Jakara. Io down, Kairi down. Looks like Lash and Jakara are going to look to put these two away. Whoa, Piper! Piper Niven! Piper Niven! Oh, and Chelsea Green! Look at that, Chelsea in like Mean Girls attire. Chelsea Green, Piper Niven, attacking Lash and Jakara. Slap there, oh my God. They're great slaps by Chelsea. Great slaps. She just slapped, like the way that she just did it was so theatrical. It looked brilliant. Chelsea is going up top. Piper is grabbing. Damage control. Crossbody there by Chelsea. Down goes damage control. Expect the unexpected, says Booker. So, no idea what the result of this match is. No contest or something? Piper Niven, Chelsea Green, interrupting. Who? Someone's arrived. We got Hank and Tank. Cole. Cole is here. Not Adam Cole. Not Michael Cole. Some boomer. Some nerd. Who's this nerd? You might be a special... there's some nerd in some, like, fireproof clothes. He look... Is this an insurance seller or something? What does he do? We'll tell Ava. So, are we going to get Hank and Tank against OTM? Is the nerd going to do something? I don't know what that was. I don't know what that was. Right, okay, here we go. We've got OTM. So, it looks like we are going to this match. Oh my god. This is going to be amazing. Is it going to be a 6-person tag? Are we going to have Jada against the nerd? Is she taking on the librarian? Jada Parker against Cold Custard. Flipping dream match, mate. This is why I watch NXT. It's literally the only reason why I watch NXT. I love seeing the women beat up nerds. Chelsea and Piper. Oh, I need to get the score, guys. We need to do the scores. Damage Control versus Lash and Jakara. When you are scoring this, don't remember, we did almost get boobs. I don't know how that influences your score, but, you know, I just want you to bear it in mind. That's all. Match score. Aubrey said Stone Cold Custer is here. Stone Cold! Stone Cold! Da, 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 da. Imagine the glass breaking and that boomer comes walking out. Let's go. Julia, main event, said AB Jobson. Another one. DJ Khaled, probably. Another one. Christopher said, Daze, what channel is UFC 308 on? TNT Sports. Apparently, James said it's on Box Office. Gotta pay. Gotta pay the $. Tommy Toy Travels, hello. Daze, I thought the match was great, but you need to tell everyone to like this pic. Okay, there's a link there to a picture. I'm going to click it. I'll click it right now. Is it the one? It's the one that Tommy showed us during... I love that one of you with little mean Kathleen. That is a brilliant picture. I never go on your Instagram, you know, to be honest. I never go on your Instagram. I might do that. But I have liked... I have liked the picture. Trenton also tagged me in the picture 17 minutes ago. The woman isn't. I have viewed it. I hope UFC don't make TNT box office a new thing. Nah, I think it's only because of the time. Oh my god, Wrestling Daze liked it. We are so back. William Hensey has the best comments. Well, I mean, you need to be very careful about William Hence's comments. Lash has been killing it with performances, says James. Yeah, she's been brilliant. My opinion of her has drastically changed. She was someone that I struggled with at first. I mean, she was around in 2.0. Do you remember she had that chat show? I think it was called Lashing Out, and that was a challenge. And then, like, in the ring, she was just a little bit basic. But yeah, the improvement, the development is, yeah, brilliant. But then, you know, if you think about it, she's been in NXT for a good few years now. You would hope to see some improvement. I think what shocked me was I know she's a big girl, but she's never really presented as like a monster or anything that special. You know, it's just Lash Legend. She goes in, she has matches. You can see she's a big girl, bigger than like a lot of the other girls. When I saw her face to face with Raquel, who is presented as a problem, like, she was the same size. I was shocked. I didn't realize she was that big. So yeah. Hello, here we go. Ashanti and Carmen. We shared a look last week. I think we were feeling each other. You cost me a match. I thought I would return the favor. Look at this little dance we're doing here. Look at this little... Brinley and Sol said, okay, she's not interested. She might be interested. Ah, here we go. EC Dub. WWE announces NXT at the former EC Dub Arena. Dormouse said, I've tagged you in a really need to see Canadian Destroyer. It's not only impressive, it's hot as hell. I've posted it on my X page. Same name as here. This better not be the Scarlett Jacob one, because that's doing the rounds at the moment. And Dormouse, I see you as being above that. I don't see you as being someone that just engages with what the masses are retweeting. Yeah, I see you as being above that. You're the new King Yeti. I see you as being above that. I see you as being a trend setter, not a trend follower. So, Dormouse, am I to... I don't have it open right now. Am I to click? And am I to click and to look? Am I to look? Because again, you're a trend setter. You are above what the average person shares. I get tagged in that Scarlett Jacob thing all the time. People love it. I think it's annoying. Am I looking? Am I going to be impressed? Is it worth me looking? Dormouse said, LMAO, don't bother looking. Thank you. Right, we've got Jada and we've got Tatum. Yeah, I mean, on my list of things that I don't need to see, it would be Scarlett hitting a Canadian Destroyer on Jacob Fatu. That's just not my bag. I'm not keen on... Well, I hate intergender wrestling. I don't mind the odd moment. I can deal with, you know, Rhea putting a clover leaf onto Dominic. I can deal with that. I can deal with Rhea walloping Dominic with a kendo stick, but... I don't know about seeing Scarlett get the better of Jacob Fatu. Like, that seems a little bit too much of a challenge for me. But yeah, I get tagged in it a fair bit. It's one of those that is doing the rounds at the moment. But I know that that is an opinion that is not shared by everyone. There's plenty of people out there that do enjoy Intergender wrestling. Right, we've got Jada in the corner with Tatum. So this is match number 2. I need to end this poll, because we're going to have another poll coming up soon. I think Jada's doing a little skip thing. She's got Halloween-inspired gear right now. Kicks coming in. I do love that. I do love that little step thing she does. Shot to the back there. Right now, Jada. That's nice. Look at that inverted suplex. That's nice. So, chuck in Tatum, get in a 2. She does that so well. Backstage, we got Lola watching the action. Lisa said, what happened to the NXT Anonymous angle? I think that it still gets used. It's just when they need it, really. I don't think it was ever, who is this person? It was never a mystery that was meant to get solved. It's more, how can we show you things that is a bit weird for you to see? How can we show you these little secret conversations that happen in locker rooms, or these little secret conversations that happen? Well, let's have NXT Anonymous. So I don't think it's a mystery that's... They might solve it one day. It might, like, they'll, you know, like how the anonymous GM. Again, I don't know that it was ever meant to be a who is it type situation. It was just a way of getting information out. But they did give an answer eventually. They might do something similar with the NXT Anonymous. But I think it's more just a way of getting information across. Step up in Zaguri. Right now going over, grabbing Jada. She's got... Jada planted. 1, 2. Shoulder up. Shoulder up. I love the picture, says A.B. Jobson. I heard Undertaker is going to come to... Oh, Tommy's picture. It's the most liked picture on my Instagram. What are you up to? How many likes? 15 likes? Jeez, look at you. And it's such a bad picture as well, because you don't know how to frame things properly. 15 likes, wow. 1, 2, 3. Jada gets the pin on Tatum Paxley. Not a bad little contest. Oh, hello. Here's Lola. Lola has made her way down. She wants to get at Jada. We know these two have got beef. What's happening? Oh, what's this? What's this? Wendy Chu has grabbed Tatum. She's got a box. She chucks her in the box. Closes the box, and she is wheeling it away. Wow. Imagine them two. Casket match. Is that what that's teasing? What's she gonna do with her? I hope we see. We got Lexis King here. She is very cute, says A.B. Jobson. Daze, I think Jey Uso changed his mind and will join Roman and Jimmy Sedamine. After what went down on Raw, buds, I think you could be correct. I know what it's like to try and step out of your father's shadow, says Charlie. So Lexis wants a shot at the Heritage Cup. Okay, they're doing it. You can have this match, but it won't be the outcome that you want. I'm down for that. That would be a good match. Lexis against Charlie Dempsey. That would be a good match. Coming up next, Obafemi takes on Luca Crucifino. You might get Crucifido. Luca Crucifido. As we go to commercial break. Hey, they've got these new belts, haven't they? NBA belts. I would get the Raptors one because the Raptors are the best. They're the best basketball team ever. They won the championship. I mean, not recently, but they have won it. Cleveland, rubbish. No one cares. Lakers, boring. Boston Celtics, who are they? Rubbish. Load of rubbish teams. They didn't really show the Raptors one. It's probably sold out. Who else could debut for King's Ring, guys? King's Ring? What do you mean, Chris? What do you mean? Brony said, Daze, did you see them insert in Sammy into the Bloodline story? I hope so. I would like OG Bloodline back, and that means we need Sammy. Christopher said, Raptors, what? Daze? Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan. I went to Toronto when I was young, and their logo was a dinosaur, and I was like, I'm in. So I've kept an eye on them. I don't really follow them until they, or if they get to the finals, to the playoff like thing. Then I'll, you know, be a bit more invested. But don't they kick their season off soon against Cleveland? See, I know that. Yeah, I know that, and I know that Drake plays for them. So do you know what I mean? I'm a big fan. Daze, I asked, how do you see them inserting Sammy? Oh, I think they'll go to Sammy and be like, will you help us? And he'll be like, no. And then they'll find a way of convincing him. And then he'll be on the team. Is Brock Anderson signed anywhere? Don't know. He was in AEW last time. I saw him. I don't know if he's still with them. But he was with AEW. Lisa said, personalities. It's gone. It's gone. Lisa didn't believe in what she said anymore. She had a really good point, and it was a bit too controversial. Kim Straight said, what are the chances of Matt Bloom returning to the ring on NXT with Sarah Stock? I would say very, very low, because they've been trainers for a long, long time, and they haven't done it in a long, long time. I think that ship's probably sailed. So I would say 5% at best. Who are the Boston Celtics? Said Duran. Yeah, never heard of them. They should burn Boston to the ground. It's overrated. I think it was an important place, but I think there's other places that have kind of overtaken it. And by other places, I mean the entirety of America. I don't know if you need it anymore. I don't know. That's for you to debate. I would get rid. With YouTube personalities training to be wrestlers, when should we witness you and Thomas Toys be put on the list, or maybe you as a foreign heel manager for Grimm ? Tommy has actually been in Grimm's Toy Show, which you can find. He was, I don't know what you would call it. Was it a Slender Man? He was part of the story. He was on the show. He got yeeted into the side of a bin. Was it a bin? Was it a dumpster? Or I don't know what it was. A storage unit or something. So if you want to see Tommy, a young Tommy, get yeeted around by Grimm on Grimm's Toy Show, on his GTS wrestling show, you can find that clip. So there we go. He's a star. He's done it. Dream achieved. But no, I'm a boomer, mate. I'm a boomer. I ain't interested in that. I agree. Utah is better than Boston. I agree, Millennial. Completely agree, buds. Daze, hope you're doing well. Do you think the Usos will be a tag team again? Yes. I don't know that it... well, I think they will for the odd match and maybe one more run, but I think Jay will likely be a solo star after this Bloodline feud. Hey, there's Cedric and Javon. Here's Nathan and Axiom, or Fraxium. Falling at the final hurdle again. That is tough. No one's poking at you. Chill. You'll win the big one eventually. Get used to it, kid. Oh, Javon just slaps Nathan Frazier. That's what happens. Is that Wes? Javon against Wes? Have we seen Javon against Wes? He's trying to start fights with everyone, isn't he? So he slapped Nathan Frazier, then he starts having a few words with Wes. Javon Evans against Wesley. Be sick. That'd be good. That'd be good. Brock Anderson is MLW. He was there a while ago after he spoke to Nick Nemeth on TNA, said Dave. Dave, shout out to you, bud. Tonight, Julia and Stephanie take on Fatal Influence. Let's go. Let's go. There she is. The Dark Angel. There was Julia came running down, came to the rescue of her, I would say old friend, but I don't know that they were friends. To become the first woman from South America to wrestle all over the world, I had to walk down unknown roads. Getting to places no one has ever reached. I am making history. I built myself up from scratch, and it wasn't by accident. It wasn't luck. You hear the cliche about traveling the world. I have done it. I conquered Europe, Japan, South America, and Mexico. And not only that, I have collected championships all over the world. I have proven I am made of fire. And it doesn't matter how many heads I would have to crush. My goal, getting to WWE. I wonder if she told Tony Khan that. Thank you for featuring me on your show. My goal, my dream, is to get to WWE. After that match, we became friends. Coming to NXT, I have learned how different it is here. And I knew the only person I could trust is someone who hits as hard as I do. And who has the same goal in mind. I wonder how they communicate. I wonder if they communicate in English. Stephanie's from Chile, isn't she? Or Chile, as we call it, but I believe they put a little extra flair on Chile. Cora Jade, Roxanne Perez against Julia and Stephanie. Stephanie lied about the first woman being from South America to wrestle. The original Sexy Star did it first, said Kim's Trains. Kim's Trains, shout out to you. Listen, we got, what's this? The Riz. What's happened to the Riz? Let's go. Who attacked the Riz? I'm not having this. Who attacked the Riz? Eh? Who's out here picking fights with the Riz? That will not be that will not be tolerated. I love this tune for WrestleMania now. I don't know who it is. Meme, 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 meme. I like the Metro Boomin track actually as well for Bad Bloods. I'm so hip. I'm really hip. Sometimes I think I'm a boomer, and then sometimes I think I've really got my finger on the pulse. A lot of the music that I find out about now comes from WWE. It's how I first heard Billie Eilish. She was an NXT theme song. They had that, You Should See Me in a Crown. You should see me in a crown. That was an NXT theme. That was the first time I'd ever heard of her. I knew about Sexy Red already, though, you know. I think Sexy Red has got a lot of new fans now. I know a lot of you in the community, big Sexy Redders. Getting your face tattoos. Wrestle with Andy, hello, Retro Boomer Days. Wrestle with Andy. Wrestle with Boomers. Shout out to you. William said, I think Tommy's secret girlfriend, he said once, was a TikTok star. Oh, God, that would make sense. I think his photo he's posted is his girlfriend reveal. Nah. Oh, imagine if it was. Imagine if it was one of those girls on TikTok. Oh, my God. I think anyone that spends all day in front of a camera probably has got, like, some self-esteem issues, you know? I think if you're going to be in front of a camera for long periods of time, you're probably quite a needy person. You clearly want attention. You clearly are lacking something in your life, and, you know, you need that, you know, admiration, that attention. I could see her coming from that world. I could, that is the vibe I get about her, a very needy person. You know me, I don't like to be disrespectful. I mean, he's in a relationship, he seems to really like her, so, you know, I think we should try and respect that. But she is awful. She is horrific. And nothing would make me happier than them breaking up. And if there is literally any way that I can achieve that, I'm open to ideas. But let's not speak about it too much, because I don't want to, you know, I run the risk of being perceived as the bad guy in this situation, and I know it's quite sensitive. But she is, no, joking aside, she is awful. Big Time said, what is good is there are subtitles for Stephanie and Jill. Is there? I didn't have them on. I was just telling you what they were saying without any subtitles or any text or anything, because I speak Japanese and Chilean. What do they speak in Chile? I don't know what the language is, but Chilean, Chile McFreesian. I speak that. I speak Chile McFreesian and I speak Japanese, so it's very easy for me to listen to what they're saying and translate it. But that's good. If for those that need a bit of help, if there was some subtitles or something, very good. AB Jobson said Riz is written off. She must have an injury, said AB Jobson. Well, I hope not. There will need to be some serious answers if the Riz is out. What's a moment that you loved in wrestling that is very unpopular with wrestling fans? A moment I loved that is unpopular with wrestling fans. Well, I defended the end of the streak the other day. I didn't love it. I actually really did not like it, even at the time. I just think that as time has gone by, I can appreciate that it was about the right time for it to end, because Undertaker really took a downward spiral after that. And I think Brock was a big enough star to carry the responsibility. You could have had someone else end it, but they might have left a year later, or they might have just ended up being a jobber, you know? And then you will have looked back at that and it would have just felt very underwhelming. For me, I look back at that moment as being really shocking, and I look back on it as being something that Brock did actually use to kind of get to a slightly higher level. I looked into it the other day. I had this conversation with someone. Brock had 6 matches in the 2 years. He came back 2 years before it. He came back the night after WrestleMania 28. So he'd been around 2 years. Within those 2 years, he'd had 6 matches. the 2 years following WrestleMania 30, he had 7 trigger on, right, let's go to a different level. So, but I can't say that I love that moment, but I do think I'm at odds with the majority with that opinion. But I don't know that that's the right answer. Because I didn't love it. I just think it's acceptable. I'm at peace with it. That's probably the way I would word it. I think it's acceptable. I'm at peace with it. But I didn't love it. So I don't know about loving something that people didn't like. I don't know that I have an answer. It's one I'd have to really, really think about. Right, this is our next match. Did we do a poll for Jada and Tatum? I thought we had, but I don't seem to have the numbers. Oba versus Luca is what we've got now. Did we do one? Did I end the poll and just not write the numbers down or something? I don't have those numbers. Guys, did we do a poll for Jada against Tatum? Did you remember voting twice? Or have I only done one? If not, I will do it again. If I have, I'll just go back and find the numbers after. But I don't know. No, there was no poll. Okay, thank you. Let's get that done then. Match score. This one is for Jada and Tatum. I really thought I had, you know. No, gods. I'm slipping, kids. I'm slipping. Okay, we've got Oba in there with Luca right now. And Oba, as you could imagine, is off to a very good start. Big clothesline. Down goes Luca. I think we might be going to commercial break soon. 50 minutes of the show gone already. We've got Stacks on the outside. Tony obviously dealing with the Riz situation. Luca is down. I don't know how I feel about the furry bands on Oba's arm. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Knee there by Luca. Oba is rocked a little bit. Big right hand there by Luca. And again, big chops coming in. They sound great. Interesting ring attire here from Luca. It's kind of like baseball. I'm getting baseball vibes from his pinstripe trousers and then like bright red boots. I don't hate it. It's just an interesting combination. Boom. Planted. Oba with a choke slam, and then Oba goes to the outsides. Luca on his feet, looking to go up over the top edge of the ring. Big chop to the back as Luca goes down. Gets pushed back into the ring. Oba coming in. Oba grabbing Luca. Is this the beginning of the end? He chucks Luca. I like that from Luca. Wide-eyed as he landed there. Really selling the impact. Oh, what a power bomb. Great power bomb. That might be it. 1, 2, 3. I would say that was short and sweet. I would say that was short and sweet. I don't think it's a match that's going to get a great score. I don't think it's a match that's really set up for a great score, but that powerbomb at the end was pretty sick. Right now, Oba with Luca, hurls Luca into the corner. Luca goes to the outside. Here's Stacks. Right now, we've got these two trying to work together to deal with the Oba Femi problem. Oba Femi getting out the ring. He's going to look to go under the ring. Hello, toolbox. Oh, hello, table. Hey? Oba! Get the tables! People flipping love tables, don't they? They love it. Oh, here's Tony. The Donnas come down. Knee to the midsection there. Is Tony going to go through the table? No, he goes into the ring steps. Oba chucking Tony. What's he got? Tony's down. What's Uber got? He grabs the arm. Oh, is that a cable tie? He's got a cable tie. He's cable tied Tony's arm. And he's cable tying him to the turnbuckle. Elbows coming in there by Oba. Luca's down. Stacks is down. He's struggling. He's struggling. He's struggling with these cable ties. They probably needed quite a few, like, in a row to give him a little bit more leeway. He's done it, though. Imagine if he was still there for, like, 5 minutes. Here we go. Stacks. Boom! Stacks goes through the table. Here's Luca. He just gets chucked. Get over there. Commentary table. Stripped. Where's the candy? Where's the candy? Save the candy. There's a ladder that's been introduced. Oh my god, we're getting all the toys. All the toys. A ladder has been put between the ring and the commentary table. Tony can't do anything about this. Oh my god, he's going to make the Don watch. He's going to make the Don watch. Luca Crucifino gets picked up and power bombed. Through the ladder. That is so satisfying. These wooden ladders are so satisfying. But there we go. Look at that. Through the ladder. Luca is down. And Tony was made to watch. Hello, Delta. How you doing, Flower? Delta. Halloween Havoc. Punch in the wall. Zarya? Zarya? We're not going with the Delta name. Zarya. Zarya. Delta's better. Zarya. Zarya is here. Zarya is here. Zarya. Oh my god, it's Zarya. Zarya. What do we think about Zarya? I would do a poll here. I'll do it. Delta is being renamed to Zarya. What do you think? Like it. I would do it here, but we're doing our match scores, aren't we? Hate it. What's NXT? What's the moment you hated in wrestling that was very popular? I don't know. I don't know. I gave you an example of one that I think I am in the minority on. But I genuinely don't. I can't think of a moment that people hated that I loved. Like, that suggests I'm just on completely the other end of the scale to the majority. And I can't think of an example. I can't think of an example. I can think of loads of moments that I've loved, but every moment that's gone through my head, I think is pretty popular. You know, like Cody finishing his story. I love that. Thought it was great. I don't think people hated that. I think about Undertaker Shawn. Love that moment. I think about Bret Stone Cold. Love that. I think about the Bloodline story as a whole. I think about the Firefly Funhouse. I think about Undertaker in general, but Ultimate Warrior beating Hogan at WrestleMania 6. I loved that as a kid. People were split 50-50. There was Hulkamaniacs and there was Warriors. It was kind of pick your side, but so no, I wanted Warrior. It's funny. Hogan was not someone that I was crazy about when I was young. he was very USA, and as a kid in the UK, you go, cool, but it doesn't grab you. It doesn't, like, massively speak to you, right? So he was fine, you know, but, for example, WrestleMania 3, I had no doubt I wanted Andre the Giant to win. Andre the Giant was big, impressive. He was, to my knowledge, well, as I now know, had not been champion. And someone that was that impressive, in my mind, should have a run as being champion. Should be champ at some point. The record books recognise that he was for all of like a minute. But, yeah, WrestleMania 3, I was hoping that Andre would win. And I was very disappointed when he didn't. WrestleMania 5, I wanted Macho Man, because Macho Man to me was just more elaborate, more interesting. Miss Elizabeth was obviously great, and his robes and everything, like, he was just more eye-catching to me. I wanted Warrior, again, more eye-catching. I wanted Hogan against Sergeant Slaughter. So I don't know, perhaps constantly rooting against Hogan maybe puts me at odds, but that's not a moment, is it really? So, I don't know, it's a hard one. I can't think of an example. Hello, we are back and we got Chase U. Big Time said, NXT is so much better than last week. There's just better pacing of the show. I think several things have played out compared to last week, which was just match, match, match. Mr. B said, Zarya means brilliance, bright light, flower, blossom, dawn, sunrise. It's inspired by a Slavic goddess. Zarya can also mean princess nobility. Zarya is okay, but Delta is better, said Draco. I loved Undertaker as a kid. Oh yeah, who didn't? Undertaker, the man. Warrior Hogan made me a diehard fan I am today. I was Team Warrior, said Kate Dub. I never wanted Hogan to win. I wanted Perfect to beat him on main event, said Toby. How about Roman Reigns beating Taker at Mania? Well, I didn't love that. I mean, people were really down on it, actually. I mean, do you remember the night after where Roman was getting booed out the building for like 10 minutes? And Roman just turned around and went, this is my yard now, and left the ring. And he was a babyface getting booed hard. I didn't. So, no, I mean, I didn't love Roman beating Undertaker. I'm not sure many people did. Mate, that would be a good one if I did, though. If I did love it, that would be a good example. But no, I'm a Undertaker guy. Imagine if Andre had won and then we built to the rematch at 4. Oh my god. That would have been... I mean, we did it, didn't we? We did the rematch at 4. I think the thing was, I mean, Andre was broke at 3, weren't he? I mean, he was completely broke by 4. So, yeah, that's a great alternative timeline though, isn't it? But I do like the fact that... Macho Man gets the title. Oh, here's Trick. Yeah, I like the fact Macho gets it at 4. I wonder if we could have done something like Imagine... Nah, because he was a heel, wasn't he, Macho? Was he a heel at 4? I think he had switched babyface, had he not? He was a heel at 3 and a heel at 5, and I think he had switched babyface at 4. I was thinking, you could have done the rematch, Hogan-Andre, main event in 4, and then you could have had a screwy finish, and then done the WrestleMania 9 trick of Macho coming down, having a shot at Andre. Macho beats Andre, and that's how Macho gets the title. Rather than the tournament that was just too big, too bloated. I don't rate 4. You're not all ego, you're all desperate. Right, we got Trick and Ethan. Maybe I am desperate, or maybe that's what I want you to think. Look at Trick in his, like, pimp outfit. I know when you look at me, you... Is he a father, is he? I often gloss over everything I had to go through to get here. We've had different paths. I never had a performance center. Trick. I had to go through hell to get where you're at. You worked hard to get where you are. You've got your story, but I've got mine too, said Trick. It's an interesting angle, this, isn't it? Like the heel doing the whole, I've worked really hard to get here. Have you ever been busted open where blood and sweat has blurred your vision? This is a weird promo. Why is the heel talking about you don't know how hard it is? Have you ever busted open? Have you ever had to taste your own blood? Have you ever had to taste your own sweat? Like I said before, said Trick, I get it. Yeah, you've been busted up. I'm glad you're used to it because I'm going to bust you open again. Yeah. Trick's like, it's great that this boomer's telling me his life story, but I'm going to bust you open again. Yeah. Let's go. All flash and fake confidence, says Ethan. Devil's Playground match between these two. Anything goes. You look great. You look immaculate. Trick does look awesome, doesn't he? All in white. I've got that devil inside of me, you don't. You stupid. You didn't see me go to war with Mello? I understand them changing the name. Every time I thought of Delta, I thought Delta Airlines, said AKF. No DQ match, no DQ. Ego. You've been talking since you got here. You've done everything except beat me. You're desperate. Okay. The 4 Doinks versus King's Court Doink. Dink, Pink, Wink against Lawler, Cheesy, Queasy, Sleazy. I liked the idea, said Kim Strange's Nick Butcher. It took 17 years for me to be champion WWE. HBK doing Heaven Hell NXT style. For the first time in your career, someone's going to make you walk through hell. Ethan stops talking and the crowd go. That was a lot of talking, weren't it? That was a lot of talking. That segment was not it for me. I've no doubt the match will be great. I mean, Devil's Playground, we don't see that, do we? So, I mean, that will be interesting. Okay, we're backstage. We've got Roxanne. We've got Cora. We've got Fatal Influence. We've got Lexis in the background. Who's he chatting with? Is that Malik Blade? Here's Kalani. Oh, the wheel will determine what the match is going to be. What for that Women's North American? Here's Sol Ruka. Okay, let's go. AKF said, Trick doesn't do it for me. Brony said, Ethan talks without saying anything. The promos are not good in my opinion. Wow. Whoever you blame, that segment just didn't deliver for me. Right, Sol Ruka against Carmen Petrovic versus Carmen Petrovic. Daze, I was saying the reverse of the question. Where was a moment that you hated in wrestling that was very popular against with most wrestling fans? Honestly, I'd need to sit and think, wouldn't I? I mean, I don't know that there's an answer that I can just pull with that. I mean, it's the way that I go through it is I think about moments I hated and then try and figure out if they were popular or not. And it's like, that's a process which is a little bit difficult to do live. There's not an answer that comes to mind on either one of those kind of ends of the spectrum. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I mean, the first one that would come to my mind would be The Fiend being burnt. I was not a fan of that. But honestly, I don't know where the general consensus is on that. I don't know if that's something that the majority loved, or was it a 50-50 split? Like, I don't know. I mean, what I know is that Bray himself seemed to have challenges with that. If you watch the documentary, he was wearing that burnt suit and he was really frustrated because, you know, he couldn't move in it. He couldn't wrestle in it. I don't know if the burnt fiend was his idea or if that was a direction that Vince wanted it to go in, or maybe it was his idea, but then the execution of the suit that came after was not to his liking. But again, if you see that documentary, you know that he is very frustrated with that burnt fiend costume. So that was a moment which I was not a fan of. But again, I don't know where the majority sit on that. I have no idea if the majority felt the same as me, if it was 50-50, if they... So I don't know that that's the right answer. I'm trying to think of other results or things that we've had that I hated, that people really liked. I mean, I hated Sting losing, but again, I think the majority agree on that. I think the majority also hated the fact that Sting lost at WrestleMania, so I don't think that's a satisfying answer. It's really hard because I just don't know where the majority sit on certain things. So it's difficult. I'd need to sit down really and map it out, and you know, I think that would be the best way of coming up with a satisfying answer. It's probably a good one for a opinions video, actually. Brony said, Daze, wasn't there reports that Roman was going to be on the Crown Jewel cards? I feel like they wouldn't have announced a match for him already. Maybe they do this week, but it seems a little bit late. Yeah, there was reports he'll be on Crown Jewel. I think he could still be at Crown Jewel. We'll have to see what goes down on Friday. I mean, this isn't the go home show this week, so you could definitely put something in place for this week. I mean, obviously, if we don't have anything announced by this week, I would agree. But yeah, rumor was that he was expected to be at Crown Jewel. Christopher said, I wish we would have got Undertaker Sting. Why didn't that happen? Sting wanted it, and so did Undertaker. Apparently, it was something that Vince wasn't crazy about. I think there was an opportunity at WrestleMania 31, wasn't there? We absolutely could have done it at WrestleMania 31, but really, other than that, there wasn't another opportunity. Sting wasn't in Sting was only in WWE for one WrestleMania. So that's really our only opportunity, unless we could have got Sting back to have done something with Undertaker, or if we could have really moved mountains. But I've heard Undertaker say that Vince just wasn't a match that Vince cared for. Wasn't a match that Vince was interested in. Maybe if he had been more motivated by it, then we could have had it. Oh, hello, look, Carmen has come down. And Ashanti is in the crowd chatting to a woman. He's in the crowd talking to a lady. Hello, Austin. Hope you're well. Joe said Sting was awesome in WWE. Brony said, I would have Jacob turn on Solo, or Solo turn on Jacob, and then we could get that match at 41 instead of Roman Solo. Thoughts? I don't know, to be honest, because I think if you take Jacob out of that new bloodline is pretty weak. I think Solo's a pretty weak leader. Tama and Tonga are just there to bump around. It's only Jacob that gives that group credibility. So if you take Jacob out, that group's dead. So you are really sacrificing the group if you do that. So I don't know what the long-term plans are for that bloodline. If you want to keep them going, then you can't take Jacob out of it, because that group's just not strong enough. You can talk about bringing in new members, but there's not a new member around, and I know that'll lead us to the Zilla conversation, but you know, I think if Zilla was to come into WWE, I think there's a chance he would go to NXT first rather than straight to the main roster. You got to remember that Guerrillas of Destiny have come from New Japan, where they do regular TV. Jacob's come from MLW, where he does regular TV. Zilla's over at Reality of Wrestling. I mean, I don't know that that's regular TV. I'm sure they record it for YouTube. I'm sure they're on, like, you know, something, but it's not the same level as being NXT or New Japan or TNA or... I still feel like he's got work to do, development to do. To put him straight onto the main roster is wild. So, yeah, we spoke before about how I don't think Zilla is quite ready for that level. So, no, I wouldn't take Jacob out. I think it makes that group too weak. Kick coming in there by Sol. The stare down between Jacob and Brom was good, said Austin. That was great, wasn't it? That was great. Solo needs to go, said K-Dub. Solo Jacob with God is legit. Yeah, Jacob feels like the leader, doesn't he? Jacob is clearly the bigger threat than Solo, like, and they're positioning him that way as well. Like, you know, it's not Solo that's staring down with Bron, it's Jacob. It's Jacob. Jacob's the one that they really seem to keep putting in those spots. He's got such a bright future. Such a bright future. Multiple-time world champion. Face first into the corner goes Sol Ruka. Kicks coming in here by Carmen. Down goes Sol Ruka. Carmen in the corner. Both of these are at an interesting level. Both of them are not quite at that championship level, but they could contend. You know, we could do Sol Ruka against Roxanne. We could do Carmen against Roxanne. But they equally could both go after the mid-card belt. In fact, Sol Ruka did recently. So these two, I sort of see them being roughly the same level, with Sol Ruka maybe a little bit further along. Shots coming in there by Sol Ruka. Carmen goes down. Sol bounces off that bottom rope, bounces back, goes to the middle rope. Do you know what would be really good if she could do it? Go to the one side, bounce off the bottom rope, go to the other side, bounce off the middle rope, go to the other side, bounce off the top rope, if she could do it. If there's anyone that I'd have confidence in, like, hitting that, it would be Sol Ruka. And it's a move, if she could do it, that I mean, I don't know why she couldn't do it. I think she should be able to. I remember Logan, was it SummerSlam? He jumped up and landed on the top rope. I've got to think Sol Ruka could do that. Soul Snatcher! Soul Snatcher connects. Sick move. 1, 2, 3. Best move in NXT. Lovely shot as well. Carmen was looking in the crowd as Ashanti and the lady that he was with got up and left. Sol goes over, capitalizes, hits the Soul Snatcher, and we are done with backstage. Tyreek, haven't seen much of those guys. We got Nikita Lyons with them. I'm always gonna pounce first, she says. Okay, well, those scores 55, 23, 16, and 4. Good 96%. Okay, we've got 39. Oh, hello, what's this? They're not going to put Nikita with Oba. Oh, yeah, go on. Hank and Tank are taking on OTM with Cole. I love the Soul Snatch. It is the best, man. What a sick move. Sick move. Right, we've got a new poll that's gone up. This is for that last match. That was Soul against Carmen. NXT Halloween Havoc. Sol Ruka is champion material, said Austin. She can snatch my soul any day, said K-Dub. Oba was eyeballing Nikita. Chili B said, I love Sol Ruka a little bit. Austin said, don't ruin Oba like that. Brony said, Daze is about to have a rant. What, about Oba and Nikita? Yeah, that ain't a partnership I'm looking for. But I suppose you got to do something with Nikita. Christopher said, I went to high school with Luke Gallows. He also played the clone of Kane versus Kane behind Kane's mask. He said it was a lot of pressure to get it right for Kane, said Christopher. That's interesting. Very cool. The Six Horror Kingman said, I see other team Oba with them and Nikita Lion could be nice. Nikita looked thirsty, said K-Dub. Oba and Nikita, what's going on? All this romance, said Charles. Weren't people hating on Nikita, said Spartan. I'm not a Nikita fan, personally. So it ain't something I'm looking for. But she's back. You've got to use her. You know, you've got to give her opportunity. So this ain't what I'm looking for, though. Oba's a monster. I'm not sure how I feel about him snuggling up with Nikita Lyons. Is he going to be involved in her TikToks? Is she going to be there like, and maybe Oba's going to be like, yeah. They can both twerk at the like twerking away at the camera. Make sure to tune into NXT. Like that. They might do some bussing. Bussing like that. Couples bussing. I don't know what the current trend is. Whatever that is. Whatever the current trend is. She loves TikTok. If they're going to do a relationship, he might start appearing. We need to mentally get ready for that. Do we think the women's division is stronger now than the men's? Yeah, probably is. Probably is. With Julia and Stephanie, Roxanne and Cora, Kalani, Sol Ruka, Jada Parker. I think I could sit here and name a lot of exciting females. I would struggle to sit and name lots of exciting male. I feel like there are lots of men in NXT, but they're still finding their characters. They're still, like, you know, finding that connection. You know, like Luca. I got time for Luca. Stacks. I got time for Stacks. But I can't compare them to Stephanie or Julia. I can't even compare them to Roxanne or Cora. Cora's a bit different because she's been away for so long. She's been injured for so long. But you know that they see a lot in her. Yeah, I think the women's division probably is more exciting. Zarya, welcome to show. Time to show everyone what you can do. Zarya. Right, here's OTM. I don't care for Nikita much, but WWE want her to stand out, said Charles. They do. And they should. She's on the books, you know? What would be the point in having her and then not doing anything with her? Like, there'd be no point. So if you've got her, you should be trying to do stuff with her. Yeah, look at... Oh, he's the best, isn't he? He's the best. Right, we are underway. OTM against Hank and Tank. Hank and Tank. There's Hank and Tank chants, guys. There's flipping Hank and Tank chants. 69, 26, and 3. Hank and Tank are doing well here against OTM. NASCAR Xfinity Series winner. There is Julia and Stephanie backstage looking at each other, smirking, warming up a little bit. We've still got that big main event coming up. Women's tag should be good, that. Should be good. Boom. Big boot there by Bronco. Right into the head of Tank. OTM getting back into this. Bang! Big Uranagi. That NASCAR guy's face is a meme. He is amazing. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Right now, we've got OTM still in control. We've got OTM in one corner. Here is Hank. Boom. That guy elevated Hank and Tank just by being their manager. He reminds me of Jameson. Do you remember Jameson? Who was with the Bushwhackers? Some nerd that wore a suit and was chewing on his tie. I'm Jameson. And he had glasses. And he was like a bit of a nerd. We need to find a picture of Jameson. We need some Jameson love. 1, 2. Oh. Hank going for the pin. Let's go. Let's go. Some Jameson love. Oh, hello. Lola comes down. She starts attacking on Jada. Let's go. There he is. Look, there's Jameson. My name's Jameson. How you doing? The best. Look at this. Yeah, I'm Jameson. That's what Colchester reminds me of. There we go. Hank and Tank get the win, and Jameson has helped him out. Hank and Tank. I'm Jameson. I don't think you could get away with that character in 2024. There he is, look! Jesus. Go on, Jameson! Do a little wiggle. Yeah! Look at this! She's doing a little twirl. Imagine if she gives him a kiss and he's like... Oof. That's a meeting of worlds, isn't it? Revenge of the Nerds. One of us is sat on the internet doing a wrestling watch-along. One of us is in a wrestling ring dancing with Lola Vice. I mean, you know what I mean? In every aspect, that man has won. Okay, here's Lexis King is going up to Ava. The NASCAR man has got it going on with Lola. Watch out, Dom, said Paul. I'm not a NASCAR fan, but I like this guy, said Suzanne. K-Dub said Custer is a real one. Oh my god, I hope they start dating. That would be so good. I would love that. Imagine she is like, as the cars line up and she's there with her man, giving him a kiss on the cheek and everything. I'll be waiting for you, baby. Good luck in the race today. That'd be great for her profile. They should do it, even if it's just to boost their brands. You know, like Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck. Or Elon Musk and Grimes. Or Stephanie and Triple H. They should do it, not because they love each other, but because it's mutually beneficial. Cole Custer and Lola Vice. Cole Vice. That's a sick name, actually. He could be Cole Vice. Oh, my God. Think of the merch. Daze, NXT decided to push the bonkers button, and it's great, said Nathan. Daze, you've heard of Dumb and Dumber. The Hank and Tank version is beep and beep. I don't know if I can say that. I know our American friends don't use those words, but we might have some British friends around. It is slang for master nation of domination. We are the nation. We are the bastion of domination. For all of our American friends that are very confused. Yeah. Cole Vice, put it on a shirt, said Vic. I know. Divorce us all you want. You'll never get rid of Omos, says Aubrey. Bubba Joe said you're going to need to corner Lexis King, says Bubba Joe. Bubba Joe, shout out to you. I like Lexis King. I've warmed to Lexis King. If he needs me, he knows where I am. Hit me up, Lexis. He doesn't need me. He's a good talker. And if I did corner him, I might have to shave my facial hair like him, and I don't want to do that. Because people will make fun of me, and I'm too insecure. King Yeti said, I need my safe space. King Yeti, shout out to you. You know that we still love you. King Yeti, respect. Mitchell said, who have you got in this match? I've got the blonde one. I think Mitchell sent that during Luca Crucifino against Obafemi, and none of them were blonde. So it was very confusing. So, Mitchell, shout out to you. Much love. Hope you're well. Hope Florida is well. James said, people make fun of you. No, that's not true, James. Everyone loves me. There is no Mickey taken out of me. I'm just worshipped. And if you've been on my ex account, you'll know that's not true. Brody said, I don't get what they're doing with Lexis. It seems like they're trying to turn him face. Yes. But part of me thinks he's only acting like this for a short period of time, and then he goes back to being a heel. Austin said they'll be crying when he becomes world champion, Aubrey. Hey. Austin, thank you. Shout out to you, Austin. That's so kind. Thank you. I don't think I will. I don't have any plans to, but oh my god, that is so nice. Thank you, Austin. It's lovely having you around again. Just kind of raises the tone in the chat, really. So, Austin, shout out to you. Daisy's only worshipped by Edwards. Yeah, but the thing is, Edwards sends so much stuff through. It's all I see. So, in my mind, do you know what I mean? I don't see the negativity. I just see, all I get is like bombarded stuff worshipping from Edwards. It's brilliant for my self-esteem. It's ruined me as a person, but brilliant for my self-esteem. Right, we have got Ridge sending a message. You want a match at Halloween Havoc? Oh. Ambulance match. That was a good reveal, wasn't it? That was a good reveal. Do you remember, wasn't it an ambulance match? We had Julius Creed against Damon Kemp. That's a good few years ago now. I remember that being a really fun match. Really fun match. We're just having a look at the Halloween Havoc card. Kalani Jordan will be taking on one member of Fatal Influence. We don't know which one yet. I would like it to be Jasmine, actually. I'd like to see that match. Jasmine against Kalani. Cora Jade, Roxanne taking on Julia and Stephanie. Ridge is going to be taking on Andre Chase in an ambulance match. Trick against Ethan in a Devil's Playground match. This is on Sunday, by the way. This is Sunday. Traditionally, hasn't Halloween Havoc just been like a themed NXT show? Here's Sarah Schreiber. Here's Tony D'Angelo. Well, it's this Sunday. Don't miss it. Don't say I didn't warn you. We will be live. Yeah? I took what he loved. I'm going to use every table, ladder, chair to beat Ober's ass. Sunday, you're gonna get it. There they are. There we are, the queens. Julia and Stephanie. Oh my God, look at this. Look at that. Damage control. Oh, that just made me have loads of feelings. All of them pervy. Literally all of them pervy. Jeez, damage control with Julia and Stephanie backstage. Did you see Kairi? I see you. Like that. I've got one of them. I use it for perving. I need that match. I need that match. Every other match now is just going to be disappointing compared to damage control against Julia and Stephanie Vaquer. That was good. They didn't need to do that, but they did it. Daze, take a shower, said, see, I might need to. I did, it just got hot. Did anyone else get warm? Jeepers. K-Dub said HBK is cooking. Daze, Carmen Live, shout out to you. Big news, wasn't it, buds? The community was all over it, though. Massive news. Carmen Live. News breaking yesterday that Samantha Irvin leaving WWE so that she could join ARW Pro. I've not seen it confirmed. It was just what people in the community were saying. But Carmen Live too, amazing. This past Saturday, I went to the Majestic Theatre in downtown Kankakee, Illinois, to see an Illinois-based wrestling promotion called Southland Championship. SC Dub. No one likes SC Dub. Southland Champion. What, have you turned your back on ARW Pro? Have you given up on them? You've decided to watch their competition instead? Are you a traitor? Carmen Live too. Are you a traitor? Have you turned your back on ARW Pro when they've just managed to secure the services of Samantha Irvin? This is very confusing. I don't know how I feel about this. I feel cheated, actually. On behalf of ARW Pro, I feel cheated. I feel wronged. It's like you've slept with another woman, Carmen Life too. Behind my back. Imagine that. Imagine sleeping with another woman behind my back, Carmen Life too. How'd you feel about that? Is that the relationship we've got? Oh, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Southland Championship Wrestling. Ugh, even sounds trashy. Common Life 2, I feel like for the past 5 years, you've come on here and spoken about ARW Pro so much that you've turned all of us into ARW Pro fans. And now you're going off to Southland Championship. That doesn't even sound real. Sounds like you made it up. Who have they got? I bet they haven't got Samantha Irvin. Where is he? There he is. Daze, this Saturday, I will go to ARW Pro. Yeah, oh, what a sloppy seconds. After you've already been to Southland Championship Wrestling first. At the National Guard's Armory in Hammond, Indiana. ARW Pro uses a guy named Virgil Davis as their ring announcer. He's dead. It's Samantha Irvin now. They took him round the back and got rid of him. Listen, if you could have Samantha as your ring announcer, and certainly if you are ARW Pro, you have to take some harsh steps. And just like Old Yeller was put down, I'm afraid the end came for Virgil Davis. Shame. Good guy as well. Did a lot for charity. He's dead now. But it's all right because they got Samantha. So, yeah. I would like to dedicate this next match to Virgil Davis. You went for the greater good, my friends. Was it that decision that drove you to Southland Championship Wrestling? Was you that upset at losing, Virgil? Comment live, please respond. So glad that these two chose WWE, said K-Dub. Yes. I'm not sure how I feel about the alien mask. I always think alien when I see it. You know, that thing. It's just not necessary. She's got such a beautiful face. I don't know why she covers it. Don't like the mask. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. Julia is so attractive, she should come out with a mask of her actual face. And then when she takes off, you'd be like, oh no, don't take the mask off because that's a beautiful mask. And then you go, oh, it's her face. And you go, oh, that's cool. Do you know what I mean? Like, you think it's going to be disappointing, but it's actually like, oh no, yeah, it is just her face, actually. Not this thing, whatever this is. Do you know what I mean? Sucks. Right. Daze, imagine Jey Uso comes out this Friday and attacks Bloodline 2.0. Mitchell's praying for Virgil Davis. Aubrey said Virgil Davis is experienced. He's been around the ARW scene for years. Had been around the scene for years. Okay. Stephanie and Julia versus... I don't know, some women. Some people. Julia's mask does remind me of the facehugger from Alien Says maybe it's meant to. Perhaps she's a facehugger. Come on! Daze, I love your response. He wishes to my tweet of me chasing you. Edward. I have to find witty responses, otherwise I would just cry. Kick out there by JC. Julia has got some serious aura and presence, says Kappa. Mitchell says boobies. These are people, Mitchell. Yeah. Please don't lower the tone. Stephanie with a suplex. Southland Championship Wrestling is real. It's one of the low-level indies. Oh, shots fired. Shots fired. Yeah, low level. Not like ARW Pro. They've got Pro in the name. Oh, honestly. It's like having a princess at home and spending the night with a street rat. You know? Why would you do that? For the thrill, for the danger. That's how it feels to me. Could never be me. Oh, hello. There we go. Little momentary lag. Wow. Wrestling Women of Wrestling is pretty good, said Christopher. Wow. AJ Lee used to be working with them, didn't she? I don't think she does anymore. Nice. Head scissors by JC. JC goes over to Julia. Drop kick there by Stephanie. Look at Julia. Julia's like... She enjoyed that. Here we go. These two in the ring at the same time. Against the ropes goes JC. Julia goes down. Stephanie helps her. Going against the rope. She gets tripped over. 619 by Stephanie. Julia, single leg drop kick. Fallon comes in. Oh! Beautiful super kick there by Stephanie. That was nice. Double elbows. They're looking good, aren't they? They're looking good. Things are going very well. Julia charges over to the outside. Blocks that shot. Lovely right hand. Oh, hello. JC. Oh, that was good. Jasmine. Duck underneath. Kick there from Fallon. Boot there by JC. Fatal influence. Working well as a faction. Very good. Corey said rats are more fun. Days, princesses are snooty and they're not always willing to do everything. Depends how you train them, Corey. Depends how you train them, mate. Hit me up if you need some tips. Brody said this has been a solid show for a go-home show. Lisa said, with all this talk about ARW Pro, will you be adding it to the streaming lineup? Could Tommy Triple stream it? Listen, there's been a lot of talk about streaming ARW Pro. I think the problem is, and we need to be very honest, I am a streamer with severe limitations in the sense of, I mean, I'm good. Just hate me wrong, I'm good. I'm good at what I do. I've got the riz. You know, I'm very charismatic. I'm very enlightening. I'm very electrifying, right? I'm very good at what I do. But there are levels to this game. And to be honest with you, I don't know that I'm good enough for ARW Pro. That is what I am working towards, I suppose. One day, I would like to think that I could do a watch-along for that, and we could really be of that level, but I don't have the confidence that we could do that watch-along. That is the dream. That's what we're working towards. So I don't know if Tommy feels like he's that level. He probably does. But it's something I'm still working towards. So I don't know. I don't know why you would, have the option to go there and enjoy the product that they put out and then choose to go to, not my words, a lesser indie show, That is an interesting decision, and one that I think Carmen Live Wrestling is going to have to really wrestle with. That's something that only they can explain. It's not a decision I would have made, but I don't know. Each to their own, isn't it? Each to their own. Days, what if Chelsea files a lawsuit against Aldous, wins the lawsuit, and becomes SmackDown GM? That would be sick, Nicole. That would be sick. Carmen Live 2 said, Lisa, I will be the one that will record or stream the... Oh my God, please do it. Please do it. Please do it. Look at this. Look at this. Lisa, I will be the one that records or streams it. I attend ARW Pro. It's based in Northwest India. Oh my, could you imagine those streams? Could you imagine those streams? The community would be there, man. We would be there in force. Carmen Live 2 streaming live from ARW. Oh my God, the community would flipping love it. The community would love it. Live from Hammond, Indiana. After everything we've heard about ARW Pro over the years. Look at this answer right here. Look at this. Read it. You can read it yourselves. I will be the one. Look, Carmen Live. Stepping up. Carmen Carmen, I'm sensing a bit of anger as well. Like, Lisa, don't ask this boomer. I will be the one that streams it. Carmen Live is here right now, like, it's time to live up to the name. Carmen Live. Do it. Carmen, do it. And I love the anger that's in there. I sensed anger. Like, no, Lisa, you watch your mouth. I don't want this boomer doing it. I will be the one. I will be the one. Hey, I don't want trouble. I don't want no trouble around here. I'm just an innocent, law-abiding citizen, just trying my best. I don't want no trouble. I don't want no trouble, governor. I won't step on your toe. You do it. I won't do it. I don't want no bother. I'm not looking for a fight, Carmen Live 2. Don't come after me. I've been nothing but kind and supportive about ARW Pro. It's yours. It's yours. Tommy says, holy shit, guys. I'm on 18 likes on my photo. If we can get to 200, I'll stream it. Don't do it, Tommy. Tommy, don't do it. Don't. Carmen Live's kicking off. He's going to murk everyone. If he'll come for you, Tommy. He'll come for you. It's not worth it, Tommy. Hey, Tommy, ask your girlfriend to do it. Get your girlfriend to stream ARW Pro. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Get your girlfriend to do it. Carmen Live 2, murker. If she does, mess her up. Crossbody there by Stephanie. Against the ropes. Stephanie. Fallon. Boom. Lovely kick there by Stephanie. Carmen Live, is it alright if I continue doing NXT? I don't want no bother. I don't want no bother. I mean, you can start doing it if you want, Carmen Live. Big kick coming in there by Fallon. Oh, Stephanie. Bishop said, Tommy, have you stopped streaming AEW and TNA? Yeah, Tommy, what's the situation there? Tried to get an answer out of you earlier. It's just something people are wondering. Lisa said an ARW Pro Wrestling stream would be awesome where you should do a review of it. Lisa, didn't you see the answer that you just received? You're on thin ice, love. Honestly. There was anger in that response. Julia going for the cover of Fallon. Oh! Stephanie gets knocked into them. I can't sit for long because of my back, says Tommy. It's the saddest answer. Lie down then, you boomer. NXT chants. Days for the members watch along. We should watch Carmen do we should. We'll do a watch along of Carmen watching ARW Pro. Yes. For the members watch along, we could watch Tommy doing if he ever does one, an AEW stream or a TNA stream. Back elbow there by Fallon. Can I stream TC Dub Teddy Championship Wrestling, said Kim Straight. You need to check with Carmen Live. Don't come asking me. Boom, on the feet. Nice suplex. Fallon, shot coming in there. A bit of an open palm by Fallon. Fallon going over. Julia in a bit of trouble. Oh, down goes Julia. Here's JC. JC grabbing Julia. Oh, she gets planted. Going for the pin. 1, 2. Oh, Stephanie with it. Oh, I love that selling by JC. Kick coming in there by Stephanie. Yeah, nice. Lots of action going on here. Fallon getting grabbed by the legs, pulled out of the ring. Zarya versus Julia at Deadline, said Boomers. Pin attempts there by JC on Julia. Super kick! Big super kick. Julia went down. Here's Kalani. Yeah, Kalani seems to be going after Jasmine. Big shots. Jasmine just went down hard, mate. Hard. Headbutt there by Julia. JC goes down. Tag being made. Oh, Julia. Boom. Big knee. She grabs JC. Package driver, is it? Oh, no. Straight across the back. Looking for the pin. She's quite close to the ropes, but she rolls her in, which is good ring IQ. Julia puts on a bit of a... Well, I don't think... Yeah. It looked like she had grabbed a bit of a camel clutch, but she didn't really have it on. She applied it to Fallon Henley to stop Henley from breaking up that pin attempt. It's a win for Julia and Stephanie. Bam. So Julia and Stephanie getting the victory. It's JC that eats the pin. Kalani attacks Jasmine on the outside. I wonder if that does set up a match between them. It's a big win for the faces. That was a go-home show. It had a feeling of a go-home show for me, to be honest, this week. There were still things that went down. Wasn't the worst go-home show, but it did feel go-home show-y. Spin the wheel. Spin the wheel. Lisa, shout out to you. What's going on? Julia, Kalani, Stephanie. There is Cora. Cora and Roxanne are on that platform. Kalani is looking up the entranceway. Oh, is she going to spin the wheel? Spin the wheel! Here we go. It's going to be... Spinner's choice. Lights out. Lights out. Zarya? So they were just talking about the wheel. The lights went out. Spinner's choice. So, does that... I'm guessing you can just choose anything. Look at all these lights that are flickering away. There she is. She's here. Zarya is in the arena. I don't know loads about that boomer, but she looks a scary boomer. She's here. So she was in the building, and she was like, like that. For those that aren't able to watch, she was like, There we go. And Vic Joseph went, she's here! Like that. Delta? No, it's not Delta. It got cut short. Oh, did it? She was like that. You missed it. Oh, no, it was really good. Oh, it was so good. Oh, my God, that was amazing. She just came out and she just murked everyone. Oh, it's still going. Yeah, go on, Zarya. Look at that. Oh, she's beating up on Julia. Oh, look at that. She's got Vic Joseph. She's got Vic Joseph. Ah, she puts him through the commentary table. Oh, my God. She's stuffing sweets in his mouth. Oh, like this. Crowd are going, Zarya, Zarya. There's a kid crying. Oh, stop it. I wanted some of that candy. And she's like shoving it in like this. She's putting it up his anus. She's shoving the candy up his anus. Oh my God, are you not getting this in America? This is brutal. What's Vic Joseph done to deserve this? Oh, scenes, mate. Scenes. That's one of the best things I've ever seen in... I mean, not what? Oh, I loved it. Oh, I loved it. What a moment in the history of NXT. I can't believe they cut that off on the CW network. Oh my God. He is going to be pooping M&Ms for the next 2 weeks. After that. And when she grabbed those strawberry Twizzlers, I mean, have you seen the length of them? Just, Jesus. Wow. Scenes, mate. Absolute scenes. You don't get that in Southwest Championship Wrestling. Let me tell you, you do get it in ARW Pro. They do it each week, actually. But you don't get that in Southwest Championship Wrestling because they suck. They suck. Where is Carmen Live Days? What is your opinion on Lillian Garcia? Don't change the subject. Huh? After you threatened to murk me. And now you're like, oh, trying to get back in my good books by asking a nice question. I'm on to you, mate. Coming round here. Threatening me. Threatening my life. Threatening my family. And then you're like, oh, what do you think about Lillian Garcia? Doesn't work that way, mate. Doesn't work that way. Yeah. This is war. You've started a war. Mitchell said, are you acting out of fantasy? Listen, I just call the action as I see it. Yeah. I just call the action as I see it. There is a chance that NXT ended and one of my porn films started and I got confused. There is a chance of that. But I can't say for certain. Listen, it looked like Vic Joseph to me. Yeah. That's all I can say. Right. We need to wrap this up. We need to go and we need to think about what we've seen, right? I don't know about you, but after what I've witnessed, I am very hungry. Yeah. I'm definitely ready for some snacks. I'll probably consume them the normal way. But thank you for joining us. Appreciate the support as always. I'm going to run away and work on the reaction video. Is going to be insane. If I have just seen what I have just seen, the reaction video is going to be the greatest reaction video ever. As long as it did go the way I think it did, right? We'll have to wait and see if that's what happened or not. But I'm going to work on that now. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate the support. We'll be back on Friday with our streams. And, of course, we're back on Saturday with the UFC, Sunday with NXT, Monday with Raw, NXT on Tuesday. There's loads coming up. You know this. Thank you for watching. Go and enjoy Carmen Live's ARW stream. I think it starts soon, so check that out, and I will see you again next time.